Hello, everybody. This is Orange, and welcome to my Abyss. And I had a sort of weird, fun, goofy idea recently on Twitter, or just in my brain in general. I was, for some reason, my brain started to rot about an old series I used to read when I was a lot younger, Alice in the Country of Hearts. It's a reverse harem series, which takes inspiration from Alice in Wonderland. It was originally an Otome game, which I've actually never played the Otome game before. I've only really read the manga and or read some of the manga and watched the show, or not the show, the movie. And I thought it would be fun and cute to rank all the boys and someone else, because I think it would be just fun. Alice in the Country of Hearts. I think it's a good time. It's not the most high art in the entire world, but it was the series that really had a grip on my entire life during middle and high school. Every time I went to the bookstore and I saw a new volume of it, I'm like, wow, no way. And this is again based off an Otome game by I believe the now defunct Quinn Rose, of course, if you can't tell, based off of Alice in Wonderland. Um, Again, I've never played the Otome game. My only experience with the franchise is the main Alice in the Country of Hearts manga, which is 6 volumes, and as well as a lot of the spin-offs. I haven't read all the spin-offs, but I have read a good amount. The thing is with a lot of the spin-offs, I haven't read them literally since middle school, so I don't remember them. And we're gonna see me jumping into this. And I do think it's funny that I'll be ranking men from an Otome game, saying that I'm not really into men per se, but I like the characters anyway, and I just want to put them on the list, slap them down. We're gonna have some popular opinions here. The one I posted to Twitter was done before I actually reread the manga, which I did recently. That was just based off of vibes and memories, and I actually reread the manga, and it's like, oh, let's do this again. And this time, you guys can hear my hear my stupid train of thought about these silly anime boys, and we'll be ranking them on a variety of things. Um, Mostly designs. Do I like their character? Opinions, thoughts. Do I like them with Alice? It's going to be random for all of them. This is just for funsies because I want to. And we're going to be starting off with Peter. Peter, right here. He's our first guy right here. He is based off of the White Rabbit, and I think he is a. He's definitely an interesting character. He's the main reason why the plot starts. He takes Alice over to Wonderland, and he is obsessed with her, which romance terms I do not like. I think he is very creepy. He often intrudes on Alice's boundaries a whole lot. I am not a fan of that per se. I am very picky when it comes to my romance. I am not really into romance per se, and again, I think the main reason why I was so much into Alice in the Country of Hearts was because my edgy middle school brain was all like, "Oh, Alice in Wonderland, but messed up. It's just like Alice's Human Sacrifice." So yeah, that's the main reason why I was into that. Um, but I did end up liking the characters too in the world, even though pretty much the plot of Alice in the Country of Hearts is Alice in Wonderland, but guns. So we're gonna rank Peter right here. And as a character, I actually like Peter a whole lot. I like him as a romance option for Alice. Again, I do not think he is good. He's creepy in a way that I do not like. I do not like his stalker. I do not like his kissing of Alice when she doesn't want that. But I think I like him in a horror sense. He doesn't have to be a good character for me to like him. He just has to be a good. He doesn't have to be a good thing. I think I'm actually going to put him solidly into the A tier. Again, I don't think he is a good fit for Alice, but I've just always thought he was just an interesting character. I'm a really big fan of his design. Love his white hair. Love his glasses. I'm surprised that he's the only one with glasses in this cast, but I guess that makes sense. I think his rabbit ears are cute. I am a fan of that. A bad romance option for Alice, but just an interesting character to follow and learn about his obsession. Next up, we got Boris, or the Cheshire Cat. Now, I believe pretty much the top three I have on the list. I think are the three most popular ships when it comes to Alice in the Country of Hearts, and I do think Boris is definitely the most popular character in the entire series, and I do really see that. I think he has the best design out of the entire squad, and he has the most different design too. He has a lot of unique elements to him that I don't see in many male character designs. He has his big fur stole, his shorts, his punky look, and he looks really different from all the other characters in Alice in the Country of Hearts, who all are just fancy men in colored shirts. That's all of their designs in slightly different colors. But Boris really stands out with his neon pink hair, his punky aesthetic, his big fluffy fur stole. and he's fun, and he's definitely the most popular character, and I can see why he's the most like popular and recognizable character and ship from Mouse in the Country of Hearts. That being said, I used to vibe a lot with Boris because I think he was like the Cheshire Cat, and the Cheshire Cat like is my favorite Alice in Wonderland character. But it's just like I remember reading Alice in the Country of Hearts or the Cheshire Cat Waltz when I was like in middle school, I believe, whenever that was coming out. And I just remember him doing something that made me really uncomfortable. He might have forced himself on Alice. I don't really remember too well because it has been years, and I kind of don't want I kind of don't want to go through rereading it. And it just like made me really, really uncomfortable, and that like really put me off of the entire series. I think just like reading that one thing, and I'm like, oh no, Boris, why? Because again, he's like punky and like, oh, he does things that he wants to do, and I know that's what some people are into when it comes to their anime boys, but it's definitely not me. But that being said, I really like his design, and like that is just like one spin-off thing. And again, I haven't read all the spin-offs, but I did read that one. I think I'm gonna actually rank him up to B tier because I like his design a lot, and just like his character and like the original story was I think fun. He's a fun alternative, but I did not like whatever he did in Cheshire Cat Waltz. I obviously did not like it. And then moving on, we have Blood, who is the Mad Hatter. And I'm going to immediately, oh God, put him in the D tier. I'm so sorry. I don't like Blood, guys. I'm so sorry. I know he's so popular, but I just hate him. I just am not a fan of Blood. He's just so boring. I do not like him. I'm sorry. I can't really. The stoic anime boys I'm always so picky with because either it's like I like it when stoic anime boys are there, but it's like but I like when they have like an other trait, like that's fun, but his like other trait is just like, oh, he's slightly protective when he's not like being mean to Alice, and I do not like this man. He's not fun. I'm not a fan of him. I'm so sorry. And moving on from that, we got Ace, who is a I think oh no, what are you? I think you're the Knave of Hearts. I've heard theories on on Ace, and I think Ace is a fun, decent character. Like he is just like I immediately put him to C tier. He's just generically nice. He has his little edge because he has a little bit of edgy things he does because it is Alice in the Country of Hearts, and if it's nothing but the most edgy thing I've ever read, and he's fine. His design I do think is bland. It sure just is the anime hairstyle with like a pretty cute outfit, but again, like the outfit is just like, oop, he's wearing a collared shirt and jacket and boots. That's so unique. But he's just like baseline, like, oh, he's nice. He's fine, whatever. He doesn't really spark anything really. And then next, I put her here for me. I put Vividel, is that her name? She's the Queen of Hearts, and if Quinn Rose wasn't cowards, they let me do the gay option, and she's going into S tier immediately. I love a girl boss. I love a mean lady who's actually sweet, and she's so good, and I love her. And Quinn Rose knew what they were doing, putting that heart immediately over her boobs, because that made me think things when I was younger. So she's in S tier, and she's great, and I should be able to romance her because I like her. And then we're just on a good roll here. We have Elliot, my beloved. I love Elliot so much. He's so good. Oh, he's going into S tier too. I just love him. His design is so cute. I love his curly hair so much. I love curly hair, and maybe that could be just because I have curly hair, but I love seeing curly hair in an anime boy, and it's just like such a pleasant color. His palette is perfect. It's just like the oranges and like the purples and the tans. Ooh, it sparks joy, and like also, he starts out being kind of like apprehensive towards Alice, like the first thing he does when he sees her is he pulls a gun on her, but like also like she kind of invaded on the territory because they're the mafia. But then like he becomes so nice and sweet, and he's fun, and he's goofy, and he's just perfect, and he's like nice to Alice, and I like it when they're nice. I like it when romance people are nice to each other. He's just so good. But then he has like some dark stuff going on, and he's so good. I love Elliot so much. He's just such a cutie. He's the Marchair. He's so good. He's so good. Oh, I can't get over how much I adore Elliot. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't know I'd gush about Elliot this much. And next we have Julius. And Julius, I think he's another example of a stoic anime guy, but like, I actually think I might put him up in A tier. Or, yeah, we'll put him in. Will we? No, I think I'm gonna put him down to B. I do like Julius a whole bunch. He's more of a stoic guy. I think because there are manga or storylines where you do ship him with Alice. I personally see him more as like a father figure. Like he's stoic, but like in a caring way, not stoic in an I'm better than you sort of way. I think he is cute. He has a design that he's a clock maker. I don't think he's based off. Oh no, he's based off of time. from Alice in Wonderland. He just like he has like a lot of like nice things about him, but like he's all right. He's not the number one, and I'm so sorry. This is going to be D and Dumb are going immediately into F tier. I do not like I do not like that they are children. They that turn into adults. They're children for so much of it. So they're like Alice, big sister, and then they turn into like boys, and they turn into like adults, and they're like Alice, you can kiss us now. We're adults, and I think it's so uncomfy. I'm sorry, guys, and just like I just don't like them too much. Even like even in either form. Like I think if it wasn't a romance series where like you're intended to like romance all of them, and even then, they're just kind of boring to me. I'm sorry, they're the bloody twins. They're the bloody twins. I don't know. I do not vibe with these two boys. But also I find it interesting. I think Dumb. I got all these pictures off of my anime. Excuse me, off of my anime list, and Dumb has I think two more likes than D does, and I find that very funny. And again, both of their designs, I think I like their designs a lot when they're in their kid forms. Just like I think their uniforms are pretty cute, and I like how their colors like contrast each other. But then like in their adult forms, they're just like men in suits. And I wish they kind of like kept a closer aesthetic to this in their adult forms. But either way, why do they have to be romantic options? Just let them be like your cute little brothers who are all like, oh my god, you're kissing another boy. That's weird, big sis. This isn't going well. And then next up, we have Mary, who I think might be the least popular boy. But despite that all, I am always rooting for Mary. I like a dad. I think a dad's a fun character. Also, oh yeah, he has glasses too, much like Peter. Oh no, it's becoming the glasses tier. Also, I'm interested that Mary, I do like his design despite it just being a like other example of a suit. I like his shoes. I'm a fan of his shoes and his like shorter pants look. It's a good time. Also, his facial hair. I'm always surprised that like more anime boys like don't incorporate like facial hair. I like drawing. If you look at any of my characters, I do like drawing me some facial hair. I think it just adds so much more to a design. But yeah, Mary's going up here. I like him. He's nice. Just a good time. Just a good dad, a quality dad. And then right we have another contender. We have Nightmare, and he is going straight to S. Nightmare has always been my favorite since reading it in middle school. I was like, oh, he's the caterpillar. Oh, I forgot to say her. I forgot to say him. He's the is it the Duchess of Hearts? From the books. It's from the books. Um, but I love Nightmare. He's the caterpillar. He is just. I think he is so fun. You meet him and he's like, oh, he's so mysterious. He's the dream demon. How mysterious and cool. And then he starts throwing up blood because he's weakly and sick and just a little baby man. And he is just, ooh, so good. I loved him so much since I was a kid. He's just always been my favorite, just my favorite guy ever. Just so good. I love you. I adore you, Nightmare. You're just so pathetic, so wonderful. And this gives me a perfect opportunity to complain a little because a lot of the Alice in the Country of Hearts, of course, has a lot of spin-offs. Spin-offs usually in the Clover, Alice in the Country of Clover, a few light novels. I've never read the light novels, but he has all of his spin-offs are done by all the pretty much all the spin-offs are done by different artists, and his spin-off is the worst one. Or he has two spin-offs, a Nightmare and the Nightmare Trilogy. I've read Nightmare, not the Nightmare Trilogy, because it's done by the same artist, and like I can appreciate like when manga art just like isn't like pretty. I like more like rough manga art sometimes. Just art in general, I think it's great. But I think if you're trying to make a series where you like admire the boys and then you have the worst art I've ever seen, it just doesn't it really like disappointed middle school me. And then also like his just a Nightmare, it ends like for like two chapters in. It's a really short story. It says Nightmare on the cover, but it stops like two chapters in for a freaking twins chapter. I didn't like that. And then it goes in the Crimson Empire. Quinn Rose was an entire company who made a whole bunch of Otome games before going defunct, and they'd often try to like shove like their other Otome game content into like other manga. And it's like, I'm buying Alice in the Country of Hearts or Alice in the Country of Clover Nightmare so I can read about Nightmare, not so I can read about Nightmare for two chapters, read about the twins, and then go into Crimson Empire because I don't care about Crimson Empire. I'm here for Alice in Wonderland. But despite it all, he's going up there. And also, I'm just not a fan of the Nightmare manga in general because, like, I like Nightmare because he's a wet dog of a man. He's pathetic and whimpering and whining. But for some reason, they're all like, oh, what if we made him, like, the hero at the end of the story? And I'm like, no, I want him to be a wet dog. Alice should save him. I'm so mad. And below that, we got Joker. Joker is mostly I'm putting him in C tier, I think. Yeah, he mostly comes in. He mostly gets screen time in the Alice in the Country of Joker spinoff, which I did read. I remember like literally nothing about it, to be totally honest with you. He does appear in like a little like bonus chapter in the Country of Hearts, and just like I think he's fine. I do like his design. I love myself a Joker design, but again, I do think they really held themselves back by doing the same exact design they've done with every other male character, which is just a like colored shirt. It's like, you give that man more frills, please. He's fine, whatever. Who cares? I don't really have much connection to him because it's just like I don't remember anything about Joker. I don't remember anything about Alice, the Country of Joker, despite like I think it being like more of a Alice in Blood ship. Don't you guys like Alice in Blood? No, I don't. And then, oh, we got Gray, who is the lizard. And I'm going to put that sweet boy right up to S. So he's another stoic anime boy, but also, like, he's a stoic anime boy in a funny way. He's kind of like the right-hand man to Nightmare. And because Nightmare is such a pathetic, like, dog of a human caterpillar demon, Gray is just always trying to make sure he doesn't die. It's just so funny. I think he's such a funny guy. Like, my stupid, all powerful boss can't stay alive to save his goddamn life. And it's just, he's always cooking for him, and he's funny and just like stoic in a funny way. I like stoic in a funny way. I like stoic in a nice way. I don't like stoic in a mean way. A mean and boring and milk toast way. And then we're going on to the last way we got here. We got Pierce, who is the dormouse. Pierce also comes into his own more into like the Country of Clover books, but mostly I don't think he ever got a spinoff focused on him. But it's mostly he did show up for a few bonus chapters in the Country of Hearts again to like advertise. You could be reading the Country of Joker right now, but you aren't. Why aren't you? But where should I put you, Dormouse? Where should I put you? Where should I put you? I love Pierce. I love his design. I think it's so cute. I love his little hat. I love his big ears. I am a huge fan that they only have one set of ears. That all the characters who have like the animal ears, like they only got the one set because they made their hair. You don't have to have flesh lumps on the side of the face because they made their hair long enough to cover it. I like that they only have one set of ears. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I wish they had tails though. Do they? I know. I think Boris has a tail. I'm trying to think. I think Boris has a tail and also a stole. I think he does because he has a Pierce because he's Boris. But I love Pierce. I love his like green color palette. His like emo-ish hairstyle like is very Boris, but I think like his colors and him just being just like a pathetic another pathetic wet dog of a man is cute as well. He's a little cutie, and if I got to know him more, I think I'd rank him higher. But I think I'll shove him into B. Yeah, I'll put you in there. Wow, what a wild ride we went on, and it's slightly revised from the one I put on Twitter because like I had a chance to reread it. So that is Alice in the Country of. I'd suggest you read it yourself. It's a fun time, but a lot of the spin-off manga is really hard to find out because again, Quidrose did go defunct, and so it's like it's not really printing anymore. I was looking online for some, being like, oh, I should reread this, and it's like you can't find most of it anymore for a reasonable price. I wish I kept it all. I used to have so much of it, but I sold all because I wasn't like vibing anymore. But yeah, that's my Alice tier list. What's yours? Are you also a fan of Alice in the Country of Hearts? If so, why? But it's a good time. I do love Alice in the Country of Hearts, despite my many gripes with it. It just like it got me really excited when I was a kid, and I still have like that nostalgia for it, and I still adore all the characters. All like the S tier characters are wonderful and perfect. And Elliot, I love you so much. Look at him. I've always been a Nightmare girly, but I think like with the recent reread, like I'm really an Elliot girly now. But also you. Ah, hot woman. We love hot, scary, powerful women in this house. So that's my ranking, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and